to go on probably I guess maybe a better team. I don't know what he's doing now actually. I mean, they did pick up Slimmy to play with Denial, which was like a pretty solid pickup. And Char has been kind of an upcoming guy, and Ocean and Els have been together.
Yeah, you know what? It's like I mentioned earlier, the lounge odds like 78 or 72-8. I'd put it probably closer to 80-20.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not being mean. The stats don't lie. This team had a 5-11 record the last 2 seasons of ESCA, and they've never made CEVO-Land either. So, like, their results have not been that great. But anyway, let's see if they can turn that around here.
Lucky and Cutler holding down. Oh, I can't believe it. The long rush coming in. Lucky somehow managing to stay alive with 2 HP and getting kills there in the pit. They just couldn't get him because Cutler was too strong on the other side. FNS eventually coming in and finishing them off. I mean, man, what a hold there on long. You don't usually see 5 guys run out long, and you're able to hold them down so well on a pistol round. They didn't even really have to back up. They just held their ground and landed their shots. Even Lucky in the pit got dinked, somehow didn't die, and managed to stay in the fight.
Yeah, I actually have to step away for a second. My dog got all worked up from this analysis. He's got to go drop a Spangler outside really fast, so I'll be right back.
All right. Dustmaret's dog a little...
So sorry. But
yeah, I mean, he deserves a break.
Must save my carpet, BRB.
We'll work a contract into Dustmaret. Dustmaret's dogs work next game. But here we go. SKDC rushing in to middle and getting an early kill. That's Stewie2K on Hazed. Ocean getting another one as he rushes into B. They're going to get that bomb planted, and Char's in a very good position here to surprise them. FNS deciding to go into the tunnels rather than mid, and whoa, coming in from above, though, and taking him down. And now Slemmy and Ocean in a 2-on-2 situation defending the bomb site. Slemmy goes down, but Ocean is still there, still to be reckoned with, and he is killed Lucky. It's now Ocean against Cutler. Cutler hasn't gone for the defuse fake yet, and it looks like he's not going to. Pros don't fake. He's going to stick it. No, he finally peeks up. It's like he knew Ocean was coming, and you know what? I don't think he's got the time to really waste. Ocean successfully distracted him long enough to get that bomb to go off. What a great play by Ocean. This is exactly what I was talking about at the start of the round with Dust earlier. I mean, Ocean is such an experienced player. He never ceases to amaze. Ocean often bottom frags. I'm not going to lie to you, or he's like close to the bottom a lot of the time. He has good games as well, and that's just due to the fact he's been playing so long. Starting off, though, with 3 kills in that round and playing as masterfully as he did, though, he makes up for it with his amazing, amazing game sense. And now, as you can see, CLG onto an eco round, but whoa, Lucky coming out and just dominating Slemmy, who goes down instantaneously to that CZ75 headshot. Now a 5-on-4 situation, and SapphireKelowna.com left scrambling. They're going to try their hand at Catwalk by the looks of it, as Stewie2K pushing up. He's got that Galil in hand. They have still the gun advantage, but as you can see, some members of CLG did buy up head armor, and that's going to be brutal to go up against with those M4s, Galil, and SMG that they have on SKDC. We do have a 3-stack onto A, and the rotator already coming in from mid, so this is going to happen fast if it happens at all. Stewie accidentally killing Els, his own teammate. Char getting a kill on Lucky to almost even things out, though. Stewie needs to get this kill on FNS to take the bomb site, and it looks like Ocean steps in, gets the kill. Char getting another, but whoa, both of them sprayed down by Cutler. Char now the last guy left in a 1-on-2, and this has completely gone off in the wrong direction if you're SKDC.
Yeah, Char's going to try to see if he can get in this 1v2 right now, and I can't even get started before you got shut down, as Cutler will take him out there with the Galil. So CLG 2-1 lead here, and kind of recovering, I guess, from getting eked out on that second round.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I mean, SKDC, they should have won that round, but losing that first kill, they sent a guy into long alone, and that's kind of a dangerous prospect. Obviously looking for that early advantage, but on the other hand, you do not want to be caught out alone on an anti-eco round, because then you give them your gun, and you saw how well they were able to put that gun to work. So they ended up losing the round because of it.
And now we have a safe situation here for SKDC as they're going to try to stack all their players at the catwalk and try to execute on the safe bomb site here with a couple of 250s and such, but no nades to work with. And Finesse here just, playing from that cutoff point, just watching the cross, able to get a couple of kills, looking for a third. He'll find it. Bomb does get planted though, and that's kind of, mission accomplished. I mean, they didn't have anything really to work with other than a couple of upgraded pistols, and yet they're able to, make the plant. So at least getting that money.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an important consolation prize, if you will, if you're SKDC, and that's going to allow them to do a full buy here, whereas I don't think they would have had the money to. No, they definitely wouldn't have had they not got that bomb planted. So that is definitely a good move by them, even though they knew they probably weren't going to get any kills. Much more important to get the bomb down. So Els with a really solid play there, but they're going to have to start turning things around. They can't let CLG run away with things, and it's going to start off with a fast rush into bomb site, long A, but Cutler getting a nice headshot over on mid onto Els.
Yeah, so, CLG able to get the pick there, starting to fall back. Ocean trying to make his way up cat to see if he can't make something happen, but Cutler is going to cut him off. No pun intended. As Carr seems to recover, at least getting that kill to get something going, but they're still down a man pretty early in the round. They have that bomb still at the cap, but it's beginning to backtrack a bit. And we'll see where they decide to go with it.
Yeah, now a 4-on-3, SKDC needs to decide where to go. Looks like they are eventually going to make their way over to A. B might have been the better decision, but oh, look at this. They are rotating around still. I'm not sure if they know where they're going. They just want to maybe get a pick if they can and open something up. Tarek moving onto the opposite side of the smoke. That's a brilliant move, but he's caught out by a flashbang, and Slemmy almost gets the kill. Misses on the spray down there, though. That is a rough miss for Slemmy. But he does finally get the headshot onto Tarek. Now a 2-on-2 situation, but only 30 seconds left of the round. Stewie needs to drop down and get that bomb. But Hayes is down there waiting for him. Cutler as well probably would have got that kill had Hayes not. Cutler is just playing amazingly here. 10 kills so far, and only after 5 rounds.
And Tarek right now, netting 1 point so far. Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great about my Vulcan picks at this point, even though Dust Moret is only winning because he stole my picks.
No, all right. Anyway, as SKDC on a save yet again here, as they had, a decent start getting that eco round in the second, but since then have definitely had some struggles trying to penetrate the defense here. CLG, as Lucky's going to play quite the unorthodox corner right up against the long A door, and as they're going to spill out long, he's just going to line them up and then chop them down. Gets 3 kills there, holds off that initial push quite well. The M4 has been collected by Char, but he's all by his lonesome in a 1 versus 4, and he's not even going to get an opportunity to make a miracle happen. So CLG up 5-1 early on here. After a little bit of a mishap, they've recovered well.
I mean, very interesting play by Lucky there, holding that corner right there. You can only really do that if you have that smoke, because then they're coming out of the smoke, and you're really in an ideal position because you can see them a lot faster than they can see you when they're coming out through the smoke. Once the first guy comes through, you have a pretty safe bet. The rest are shortly following. So he just had to hold down that mouse one, and they did the work for him.
Right, as regarding to see SKDC putting a lot of emphasis on these B tunnels. Yeah, they get both those B picks. Great play there from Stewie 2K. Tarek will rotate in through the window with the op. Misses that shot on the L's, looking for the repeat, but Hayes on a huge flank will catch L's in the back of the head. Stewie trying to play inside the smoke, inside the doors, and be sneaky. And Hayes is not aware of this. He's actually worried about the B tunnels, but Tarek will collect it anyway, and then Hayes mops him up with the spray down. And so it's going to be off to Slemmy in a 1 versus 3.
Gets 1, but he's got 2 left. He's got an op. That is not an ideal weapon to take a sight with, but he is up against 1 opper in Tarek too. So as long as he can take down Hayes, or one of these two, really. Oh, what a shot through the smoke. Unbelievable kill by Slemmy, and he's still got 45 seconds in the round to win it. Hayes is at relatively low health. If Slemmy wants to go in there with his pistol, he might just be able to win this round. He's walking all the way around. But
I'm surprised he didn't pick up the M4 that he passed by on tunnels.
Maybe he doesn't know that Hayes is so low health. In fact, he's going in with his op.
keeps out and misses, and I think the M4 would have been a better option there. Not even because of the HP, but just because you realize that you're about to press into a close quarter situation and the bomb's down, you got to get in there. And he passed up an M4, and I think he would have been better off grabbing that for that opportunity at the 1v1. But at the same time, it's like I hit 2 really nuts op shots, so maybe I should just hold on to this. And you know.
I mean, he was obviously feeling pretty confident with it, but eventually it didn't work out in his favor. And wow, what a play by Hayes, though. That flank, it came so fast in through the tunnels. In fact, he flanked in between 2 rushes through the tunnels from the SKDC players. Completely caught them by surprise. Won the round for them ultimately on a 4K. So amazing, amazing play by Hayes. And now 6-1 for CLG. SKDC, the window is closing on this map.
Trying to go mid to B here, but Cutler's going to be posted up with the M4. He'll be able to get one. Slimmy trades it, but Tarek is here to collect it right back with the op. But only gets one. Else comes out real nice. The smokes to come on CT spawn. So now Hayes all alone at B. About to try to hold this thing off, but SKDC actually retreats. They go back to mid, and I think they should have just kept hammering at B. That's I mean, they got the favorable picks to just execute Hayes at B. And
I mean, how many could possibly be on B, right? Like, once you get those picks, you got to be feeling pretty safe to go to that site.
Yeah, but it's really weird. They pulled off.
I guess they figured the rotate would happen.
Yeah, maybe.
CLG, but CLG is far too disciplined to fall for an easy play like that. Nice flashbang coming out from FNS, gonna force Els and Stewie to slow down their push. Els does pick up the kill, though, and Lucky now left defending the bomb site by himself, but the rotate comes in from Hayes, catches Ocean from behind, and now...
Yeah, that was a huge mistake for MSKDC, and the reason why I say that is, yeah, we already talked about the picks, and yeah, you can expect rotates and stuff, but SKDC didn't even allow enough time for a rotate to take place before they even fell off of that, for one, and for two, before the smoke they threw at CT spawn bloomed, they saw 2 guys at the cross. So that should have been all the information they needed to know that there was only 1 B or maybe none B. And they could have just attacked that with 3 players, and they passed up that opportunity. So
what's that is the second time today I've just been amazed by an op kill through smoke by Slemmy. He has amazing, amazing map sense, but quickly answering back is FNS, getting a headshot onto Ocean. Here comes the cat rush from SKDC, and once more working off of the early pick. Finally Stewie gets 2 more kills. FNS and Tarek going down, and now Lucky and Hayes left trying to retake this bomb site. Lucky is going to be playing from the pit. He's going to try to get a peek here, but he's facing down the barrel of Slemmy's op.
Right, as the bomb has still yet to be planted, and Lucky's challenging pretty well, and he will actually get the kill on the Slimmy. Unfortunately, Slimmy only got a leg shot on the Lucky, so Lucky able to take him out. Now up to Els, 1 versus 2. He's able to get the kill on the Hayes, 1-on-1 now. Lots of time left, and he has a slight health advantage. Not a lot, but still a lot of mind games can be played.
Grab the bomb, Els. Where are you going?
Yeah, I think he was just checking Cat really quick, and now he's going to go grab the bomb. And now Lucky realizes that this guy could go anywhere with the bomb, so he's going to play Cat, which is basically his fastest route to either site, if he wants to kind of keep an eye on
Oh, he's going to catch Els so easily here.
Oh, he misses, though.
Headshot.
And now it's a 1-on-1 aim battle at this point, with the health pretty similar, so it's kind of just whoever hits this shot once they actually meet up with each other. It's going to be Els, and that's the second round going SKDC. Great clutch from Els.
Wow, amazing clutch from Els. Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a shame for Slemmy that he only legged Lucky there, but Lucky just got a great shot all the way from pit with that M4. But Els, like we said, closing out the round. And surprisingly, Els and Ocean are at the top of the team right now. I mean, the kills are relatively even, but both of those players have clutched the only 2 rounds that SKDC has won.
Right, as like I said, ever since that little brief hiccup in the second round where they got ecoed, CLG has been pretty much on point for the rest of the map. But I have to say that was definitely a big play from Els there. That 1v2 was huge, and those kinds of plays can be what gets you back in the game, get you back in the right mindset to start coming up with stuff to press through and close the gap. And hopefully we can see that from SKDC. I wouldn't want to see, I know we picked them as our favorite, right? And we kind of gave them the advantage, but I don't want to see just 2 like quick kind of unappealing games where someone just gets slaughtered either.
No, especially because with CLG and sort of the new players that they're trying out, we want to really test their lineup and see just how they do with the 4 that we know are kind of primary players on their team, and maybe if Lucky should, for example, hypothetically become a permanent member, or how the four just work together, missing that off that they've probably grown so used to. But Cutler getting a nice kill on Char to start off the round, and he's brought low health though. He's going to rotate in, and here comes the cat play by SKDC. Lucky getting one with the FAMAS. From FNS getting another, but Ocean and Slemmy answering right back. They're so close to taking bomb side A. Ocean getting the final member of CLG who's on bomb side A. Now the rotate coming in from Cutler, but again, his HP is so low, 4 HP only. Ocean turns and fires, gets Cutler. Now it's down to Hayes with the pop flash. Off way too slow, and Slemmy finishes off the round. Wow, Ocean and Slemmy doing work to clutch that round.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, SKDC starting to finally, you know, make a presence in this game. Like I said, outside of getting an eco in the second round, they had lost, you know, the next 6 after that. And now they've finally been able to string together a couple of rounds in a row. They're now putting CLG on a save. And so this is, you know, they're starting to put the pieces together to be able to maybe make a comeback in this game, or at least make this half challenging for CLG after they just kind of stormed up front without too much work to be done to do it.
Absolutely. Lucky now playing aggressively into the long double doors, and he's going to be forced back. That information gathered, but whoa, Tarek, two headshots with that USP. Oh, sorry, Hayes got one and Tarek got the other.
Yeah. And now Tarek catches Char with his nade out and takes him down to 35. So a lot of damage being dealt with literally no investment. I think Cutler bought a 250. So
I mean, the only way that works is if, for example,
a $300 investment, right? Wait, yeah,
just the P250.
So
I mean, if you got 2 guys that can peek at
don't
the
even
same
have
time and each get a headshot, then that'll do it. I mean, how can you rely on that? And yet here they are over at B playing with those USPs and effectively. Slemmy and Els though getting the kills they finally need, and leaving it to Lucky and Cutler to try to at least get a few kills in this round.
Yeah, they got 3 players down so low. Unfortunately, none of them could get cleaned up for CLG. So SKDC doing their job, you know, not getting caught off by basically a complete full save other than a 250. Like I said, 3 of their players take a lot of heat, but they only lose 1 player. So that's all that really matters at the end of the day is how many players you lost, and they only lost 1. So that's definitely key.
Exactly.
So the score is 7-4. Like I said, won the last 3 rounds in a row. So they're starting to.
And even with that full save, Counter Logic Gaming is just in a really rough money situation. 2 of their members don't even have head armor, and then you have 1 running out with a FAMAS. So SapphireKelowna.com has the advantage here as they rush out long aggressively, but it's stacked with 3 guys as usual for CLG. Slemmy getting 1 with the P250 though. That's Cutler with a headshot.
Yeah, so that is Cutler down, but Finesse is still going to be staying his ground over here at long, and he will be able to get the trade there on the L's as the bomb will slip up Cat to the platform here.
This Cat flank is so good by Stewie.
Yeah, he's able to get out, and you know, Finesse and company, they know it's not. So these 2 players are just stuck in like purgatory, basically playing this TT spawn, just stuck in this waiting game, waiting for their teammates long to see if they can't come back and do something. But Lucky's actually trying to flank around Cat from long instead of trying to retake from long. So this is kind of weird. And Slimmy's actually still playing this little subway area, just holding off these rotators quite well.
He is trapped though. Oh no, they're going Cat. And Ocean falls quickly. Tarek meanwhile took down Stewie. So
they gotta be so fast though, because so much time is ticking away. Yeah, they're just it's too late. Actually,
recognize that it's too late. That's another round win for SKDC. I can't believe they're back in this game. Like,
yeah,
I thought this game is pretty much over.
They're finding the holes. Like they know CLG's putting up a strong presence at long, but it's at the cost of having nothing at Cat except for like a CT spawn rotator who, if he gets caught awkwardly, like maybe he's too far towards mid when the Cat cross happens, and you can't really do anything from that spot. It becomes like a no man's land, and that's the timings that SKDC's been able to catch on the catwalk pushes sometimes.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. SKDC 2 rounds away from tying things up in this game. I mean, it would be an epic comeback to the half if they were able to win it. 8-7, and that's still a very distinct possibility here with all the momentum in their favor.
Right, so let's see if SKDC can keep the comeback dream alive and actually tie this thing up here in the first half, as they have done quite well here in these last few rounds to get where they are. CLG just kind of playing a standard 2-1-2 setup right now. They actually do have a guy playing A-ramp watching Cat this time around, so they're not going to leave that hole open all the way. SKDC is trying to see if they can exploit mid. They have that spawn smoke there on the Cutler, trying to eliminate him from having peeks on mid, but they're playing 2 inside B from CLG to counter that, and that can be, you know, a pretty solid counter to any type of mid to B play. So SKDC is getting funneled now once again to try this catwalk attempt, but the problem is Lucky is actually in position. They're getting good counter smokes up. So CLG just basically responding really well to the trends that SKDC's kind of displayed so far on this T side.
Yeah, moving a lot slower than SKDC usually does, but here they go in their classic fashion, just rushing out catwalk all as one. Lucky's going to be there defending it, basically alone as Cutler rotates in from CT spawn.
Oh, but the one drop that's going to be shot, no one caught that, and that's going to be big because that opens up like a whole route.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a whole new point of attack that you get. And I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, so when you jump off of cat drop down like that, you basically have opened up a whole new route to A that doesn't normally exist. Like normally terrorists only attack you from long or A. So, or if they like somehow flank you to CT spawn, which is like pretty unlikely. So being able to get a smoke on CT spawn and drop down like that opens up a whole new point of attack.
Exactly.
And
now that is
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's a risky move, though, because had Cutler decided to make the bold move to rush through a smoke, he would have easily caught Char from behind. Char just basically made the assumption on faith that that Cutler wouldn't rush through that smoke.
Right.
And it was
and
a
I
pretty
mean,
good
as
bet
a CT player, when you see that smoke, that's the first thing you think of that's happening, unless it's some kind of fake in there.
Exactly, which is why Cutler maybe would have benefited from going ahead and rushing through it anyway. It's not like he's going to smoke CT and then just sit there and look at CT. He's doing it to open up that route of attack.
Especially if Lucky can call that they're pushing him, then
Exactly.
Cutler knows he can come through the smoke for free. But that's the discussion that you could, you know, have about the meta of this map quite a lot. But
Absolutely.
We'll see what's going to happen here as SKDC begins to kind of execute their way up the cap, but Lucky's going to be playing the side of the stairwell this time, you know, playing a bit more aggressive on the catwalk than previous rounds for sure. He's been a lot more passive on A ramp or on the side, or even giving up cat completely to play more of a strong long presence. So he definitely played a little bit of a position SKDC probably wasn't expecting based on how things have gone thus far this game.
CLG's been doing that. CLG's been doing that quite well so far with these sometimes unorthodox places that they're hiding. Stacking 2 on mid, for instance, with 1 hiding behind the double doors, trying to bait him out with Hayes there. That could have been deadly had SKDC taken the bait, but instead they've decided to go long, which is essentially undefended. However, there are 3 CTs to be reckoned with on bomb site A. Char gets one of them, but Hayes answers back and gets the kill on him. L's now pushing on catwalk. He gets taken down by Cutler with a pistol, and now down to Slemmy with that off. He falls as well to FNS. Good hold for CLG, finally turning things around after 5 in a row for SKDC.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, like you said, or we've both said, really, I guess, is that SKDC's really been able to start, you know, weaving something together, you know, able to build something and grow it and get back in the game. But, you know, CLG finally kind of putting their foot down and finally kind of cutting off. But I think that SKDC is already, based on the scenario they were in early on, they've done quite well to make this half respectable. I know that, I mean, honestly, this map is, I mean, quite balanced. I mean, I think some people say it's a little bit T-heavy now, but there used to be a point in time where this map was more CT-sided.
You know, I still call it an 8-7 map, and I don't really care where the 8 is, basically.
Right.
I think it's just about as even as it gets.
It's weird.
All the players, oh my goodness, Stewie, that is not the first time this game he's gotten these amazing entry frags. Stewie with 2 kills on a bomb site B. They now control mid as well on SKDC, and CLG is reeling.
Yeah, it's going to wind up being 8-7 here unless Lucky and Finesse and company come up with something nuts.
I don't know. This could be quite the retake. They do still have plenty of time, and that Molotov is going to force Els out. Lucky takes a long time with that spray, though, and Ocean almost capitalizes. That nade even almost taken down Lucky. Lucky is basically out of commission, but Cutler getting a kill onto Char.
And SKDC actually are like slipping because they're overextended some of their players way too far outside the site and isolated them. And now that's giving CLG some breathing room to make this retake happen. This was a 5-on-3, and CLG might win it unless Slimmy can say today, but he runs out of bullets, but he didn't run out of time. And that's the key thing there, is just playing for as much time as possible. And that, I mean, like I said, given the situation, because they were down 7-1, being able to come back and make it an 8-7 half is really big for SKDC, I think. But
absolutely, and a lot of it is on the back of Slemmy. I mean, even just there in that last round, had he not managed to survive long enough to distract the bomb entering CTs, and as well get that last guy off that bomb, I think he might have had time. He had a kit, so it would have been close. Slemmy closing things out for his team, and he's been playing pretty well overall. He's the only one on that team so far with a positive score. 8-7 now, the score at the end of the half, and that's just about as even as it gets. I put this at, I mean, okay, so if these teams are even going into this map, then I put this at even odds going into the second half. Considering CLG is still, I think, arguably the better team, I don't think very many people would argue SKDC is. Even though I love those guys and I'm a huge fan, the way these rosters currently sit, CLG is the superior team based purely on firepower and gameplay. So SKDC has been doing great, but they need to step it up even more now because CLG is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this map is one of those maps where I feel like there's a lot of play on both sides. There were different periods of time where this map, like starting out, always people kind of felt you had more opportunities on T side to do a lot of things just because of how quick you can rotate between A and B executions through mid and traversing the tunnels. It's just, you're able to work.
I mean, you control already more than half the map as terrorists just by default. The CTs already have to give up half the map to you, so you do have that mobility.
Right, and but then there was kind of this point in time where CT sides were really starting to get a lot of rounds, and people were kind of seeing a shift to the CT side. But I think we've kind of started to shift back to either a more balanced or maybe slightly T-sided view of things. But here we have the NOA stack from Els.
Oh, and it works. You don't always see that working, but it definitely paid off that time. And now they know exactly where CLG's coming. But Lucky gets the kill onto Slemmy on that entry into bomb side A. Now A completely undefended because of that huge investment made into middle. Stewie getting one kill over at bomb site B as he rotates in, but now it's a 2-on-3 retake. Lucky getting Char. I'm not sure what happened to Char there. I think he dropped out of the game, actually. That's really a shame because it was definitely still a distinct possibility SKDC could win this round. Ocean now going to try to make the most of it, but he falls to Hayes, and now looks like we're going to go to a quick pause here because I guess Char having some connectivity issues. I mean, do you think they could have retaken that had Char not dropped?
It's like one of those hypotheticals where I am too hesitant to make a decision just because you never really know.
I mean, they had poor positioning. That's a problem. One of them would be coming from CT. I mean, CT is just about the worst place you could be coming from onto the bomb site because they can just peek around the corner from either the long side or the elevator there. From Goose, and you don't really know which corner they're going to peek at either time. In fact, they might just sit on either side and crossfire you. So you got to rely on the guy on Cat to do a lot of work. But meanwhile, there's 3 players left, so really they could just have one guy fighting Cat, the other 2 watching the CT entrance, and it's a really tough retake for SKDC at that point. But we'll never know because Char has left the building at this point, but I'm sure
I think the only relevant point to that is does it merit the round being replayed or not?
No, I don't think so.
That's a decision that whether the teams want to ask for it or not and whether admins want to accept it or not, that's a whole different thing. Ocean is calling for a replay.
I don't know. A 2-on-3 replay.
I think the rule is this: is if he was crashed at the beginning of the round and they call for a replay before the round progresses or whatever.
Yeah.
But if he crashed mid-round,
I mean, they were at such a positional disadvantage. Never mind the numbers disadvantage; it was a positional disadvantage as well. The bomb was already planted.
Was he gone the whole round?
No, he was in CT when he fell.
So he never moved, he was just AFK then crash as soon as
you know what? I don't know. Maybe he. I thought he worked his way into CT, but I think he would. I think he might have been AFK.
I thought the rule was something if you are gone, you never.
I mean, they should have called it at the beginning. Yeah, exactly. Surely they knew Char was not there.
Because then the round could be replayed, but they let it play out into a situation that could have gone either way, and at that point, it's you're kind of hard pressed to let that replay at that point when so much action has taken place.
And such a close game.
Because here's the thing: if SKDC wins that round, they don't care. They never call for a replay. You can't call for a replay only when the round has failed you. You have to call for a replay when you realize that the round could fail you because something happened, not because it already did.
Basically, I think what this comes down to is CLG going to be nice guys and allow a replay? And frankly, I don't think it makes them not nice guys if they don't. Like, don't get me
here's
wrong.
the
I'm
deal.
not.
If
I'm
you're
not saying either CLG
SKDC,
does this or they're jerks. I'm saying if they do this, it's a favor to SKDC.
it is what it is. If you're SKDC and this happens, your player crashes as soon as the round starts.
Yep.
Then you call it then, because, like I said, because if they win the round, then they don't call for a replay, obviously, because they won. But you can't play that kind of game. Like, you have to make your decision whether you want to replay the round before you find out the result of the round. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of unfair.
It's like scratching a lottery ticket and then bringing it back to the store when you find out you didn't win.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we
ask
are
for your
not
money back before you play it. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it looks like we are not indeed going to see a replay of that round. So we're jumping right into the next round. CLG with the lead so far in this half. They've won one round so far, and we're going to the second round. It looks like we're going to see a big investment coming out from SKDC, buying head armor and scouts.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where they know they can buy fourth round anyway, so you might as well try to invest some money in this second round and see if you can't, make something happen. Now, if you buy too much, you run into a situation where you can't afford an op or something, and that could be an issue. But Ocean is going to find the headshot there on the Tarek, so a good start. But there are still 3 more CLG members trying to make their way up along, and they have crossed Finesse into the site, and he will be able to get the pick there onto Els. And the bomb isn't going to get planted. Stewie trying to see if he can't make a sick play through the smoke, and he actually is able to flank around. Nice kill here with it. Oh my goodness. What a play from Stewie. Just 180 and all over the place with that 5-7.
Miley Cyrus. Stewie just came in like a wrecking ball. Lucky now. Forced to on their 1 versus 3 retake and just completely dominate. I can't believe the way Stewie, he kind of lucked out there because there was that player on long. He just was looking in the wrong direction at that time. He was concerned about a long flank. So Stewie made full use of it, turning with rapidity, getting the instant headshot basically on 3 guys with that 5-7. And
that was
wow, it completely turns things around.
Yeah, because now it forces CLG onto pretty much a double save scenario. That's the cost of losing second round. When you win first and you invest in your second round, like SMGs or maybe even some rifles or what have you, is you've burnt all your cash and then you lost, so you're at a 1-loss bonus, so now you're double saving. And then this gives SKDC actually a chance to take the lead back, or take the lead for the first time this game.
Yeah.
So that's big.
Slammy playing pretty safe here on this anti-eco round. Char getting a kill on Finesse over on Catwalk. Finally, the long rush comes out, but Els is there waiting, sprays down 3 with that Galil. Galil has a lot of bullets in it. It's a pretty effective anti-eco gun. Some might even say just as good as the AK because of that extra 5 bullets that you get. If you're against an unarmored opponent, definitely a good thing to pick up. But now, look at this. We've tied up the game here. SKDC has completed their epic comeback, and now they're looking for the win.
Yeah, and you see actually CLG investing some money here into some Tech 9s and grenades and armor and things like that, which has brought down a lot of their players to the mid 2K range now. Still going to be able to get AKs and stuff no matter what next round. So not like a crazy risky investment or anything like that. And they're trying to give themselves a chance to do something, but they're just getting chopped down. Slimmy at the pit with the Galil, sprays down 2, grabs another with the 5-7. Lucky trying to fight back here with the CZ, but isn't going to get taken down by Char. That's going to be the end of that. So SKDC taking the lead for the first time in this map 1 here on Dust 2. So
okay, so looking at the lounge odds before this match, and just all the analysis that was going on before. I mean, 10-9. Are you kidding me?
What were the CS:GO lounge odds again? When I saw it was like 93.
92.8 or 93.7, one or the other. I mean, it's something ridiculous that you never, ever should go the other way. And yet here we go. SKDC in pretty good shape. I mean, they're looking to possibly pick up this map. Well, I mean, okay, so we still have another map to play after this one. SKDC has a long way to go. First, they have to win this one. Then they have to win that second one in order to get the win. I think even a tie would be a very impressive showing for them, though, in this match against CLG, who many consider to be, at the very least, top 3 in NA.
Yeah, I mean, with all the roster shifting, it's hard to tell where everyone sits anymore. I think Nylum is like really beefy now, to be honest. Picking up Hiko today, picking up Simphus a couple.
Yeah. Hiko and
Automatic and
back
Sinks
together. That is
Automatic and Sinks have looked really good at CEVO and ESEA. So that's a team right there. That's a squad right there. I think Nylum's like a top 3 team right now, off of just pure speculation. I haven't seen them play yet.
I mean, part of it is these teams have to stick together for a while. NA's never really had a team that stuck together for a while, except Cloud9.
Yeah, at least the core of that team.
Yeah.
Nice pop flash here from the catwalk, though. Gotta love that.
Only gets one, though.
That's true, but Els is here playing behind the barrels, and he's able to get a couple of kills as well. So it's now a 2 versus 2 situation. The bomb is going to make its way inside the A bomb site for the plant. Ocean trying to flank up the cat. He has collected an AK, as he's going to be trying to see if he can't spot this bomb planter. Nice molly to force that guy out, and then Stewie gets the kill on top of it. So very nice. But the bomb is planted for finesse, sort of. On the long platform, I think it is.
It's not an ideal long plant.
It's good enough. Like,
not with that smoke out.
Ocean's actually trying to move around in this.
Ocean's got this. Oh no! That's
Dream dead.
Stewie, I think he's gonna stick it though. He's still got that smoke cover.
And they didn't do enough damage. I think Finesse did it too much to that nade. That nade was never gonna do enough damage, unless he thought he hit Stewie enough. But no one ever hit Stewie.
It's really hard to say. What was going through his mind? I don't know if he...
Or the comms he got. What if someone thought that they hit him and the nade would be enough to kill him? Because here's the thing. He spent like a good 3 seconds throwing that nade that could have been used to run up there and just spray him down. You know what I mean? So...
A little bit of friendly trash talk, I think, coming up from the players down there. Exchanges of ageism coming out from CLG. I don't appreciate that as an older gentleman myself. Thank you very much. But Slemmy, nice kill. On to long. Unlucky. No, I'm too old to be any good at Counter-Strike anymore.
You're never too old. Look at
I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess. I'll join Virtus Pro and then...
Look at Sir Scoots. Look at Red Eye. There's some old guys out there that still bring whatever in their respective roles in the community. But anyway,
Eric, 2 kills on Cat and then on the long connector there. Those are great entry frags for him. L's completely blind as well. Char and L's were so blind when they were killed in this round, and they were just really well placed flashes by Counter Logic on their takes. FNS on the lurk here gets Stewie. Now Ocean answers back, gets a kill half through the door there. He manages to pick up the AK. He's going to save that. He doesn't have enough time to retake that site and defuse, and he knows it. I'd like to pick up a kill if he could, but I don't know if anyone's going to exit out this way. Hayes now knows where he is, so he's got to work very carefully here to make sure he's not trapped by Cutler, who does get him on the cross. Yeah, that's rough to lose that AK, but that was a pretty close round. Problem was Char and Els died so fast, weren't even able to do any damage.
Yeah, and so now CLG is, closing the gap right back. I mean, SKDC did such a great job in the first half to make kind of a comeback, and you saw SKDC actually take a lead, in this game. They've had the lead here for the past couple of rounds, but now CLG's looking to take it back. They do have SKDC on pretty much a full save outside of a couple of 5-7 investments. 3 5-7s were bought, and then 4 flashes. So not a crazy amount for SKDC to work with there.
SKDC doesn't really have any good position here either. You might try something risky like a push or a stack, but it looks like first they kind of stacked long, and now they're scrambling down, not quite sure where they're going.
Well, Char has this position on long that can be very dangerous if you don't check it. So he's kind of the anchor there. So this allows them to kind of focus more on mid and cat.
They have nobody on B, though.
Yeah, nobody on B, though. That's the gamble that they're trying to take, and it just doesn't pan out. But honestly, that's all you can really do in rounds like this is kind of gamble on pushes or stacks.
Sure.
Just unfortunate. It's one of those things. You just gamble and it didn't work.
Does it not work? Stewie is a master at the eco rounds, it looks like, with that 5-7. Not going to be enough, though, as he falls. So now L's going to be looking to pick up at least a kill or 2 maybe on the exit. Or he'll jump down and surprise Cutler, getting that kill. That's at least something to end off the round with. But now CLG has tied the game back up.
Indeed, it is 11-all at this point. So, like I said, CLG fighting back in this game after allowing SKDC to climb all their way back from a situation where they were down 1-7, and then, to close it up at 8-7 in the first half, and then, actually take the lead in the game. CLG, like I said, starting to finally push SKDC back and that tie the game up, and now it's all about who's going to take the lead. You know, pretty even situation right now. Tarek looking for picks at long with the op, but Slimmy just spams him through the smoke there, gets the kill, and it'll be Cutler who will collect that op and try to put it back to use somewhere else as he'll rotate over here towards mid. We have Lucky, playing the cat right now as Hayes will actually step out towards mid to CT spawn. He does find the headshot pick on the Chara. Smoke will go down on CT spawn, but there's still 2 players playing inside the B bomb site. And so that's something they still have to kind of worry about.
Fall back and go cat, though. And Els is not in an ideal position here to defend cat. Once he falls, it's going to come down to Slimmy to rotate in.
You really want an op at that position that Els is at.
Yeah. He's going to have to land headshots, and even that's not going to be enough because he's against head-armored opponents unless Lucky goes out. Lucky goes out first, but Slimmy actually is falling. He's forced Els back just in time for the catwalk rush to come. That is horrible timing for Els. It's actually 4-on-3, but it doesn't look like it because the whole bomb site controlled by CLG at this point.
And that's just really good work from CLG to understand what their picks caused, rotation wise and positioning wise, and just really good, exploitation of the picks that they got. So they are going to have a retake running here. Finesse is going to be hiding at the green box area, able to get one of those kills. Lucky pushes Cat, but he gets caught by Stewie. And now all of a sudden, a 4-on-2 has turned into a 2 versus 2. But the bomb's been down for such a long time that it won't matter. They'll just save these guns, and CLG will take the lead back after passing the torch to SKDC for a few rounds there. They're gonna go ahead and grab it back.
Still very close rounds though. You can see the money situation on CLG. I mean, they have 2 players with lots of money built up, but the rest just barely have enough to buy. So SKDC has been doing a pretty good job of keeping that money situation pretty close, but they managed to save 2 rifles, and they don't have enough to buy.
I will say this too, this really quick though, it's just kind of odd, and I swear this is not about like fantasy team or anything like that when I make it. It's really not. But Tarek has been kind of quiet, and that's a player they really do kind of rely on to be big for them in games, and I mean, he definitely had a tough time.
This is what we talked about earlier. I feel like when he pulls out the op, like he's been forced to do much of this game, it changes his play style, and he's not the same old Tarek that we know and love when he's got a rifle in his hand. It looks like they're actually going to play Cutler with the op this time.
That used to be their primary op before they had JDM on netcode guides, and then obviously before they had like other people like Peter come through with the op. So he has played that role before.
I mean, you could tell it's really kind of hurting them though, not having that dedicated op, because they're not quite sure what to do without having that entry frag ability.
They always were a very op-heavy team, even when they had JDM back in the netcode guides days. They really did rely on the op to get picks on the T side and kind of play off of that. And so, yeah, you're right. That was kind of a key part of their play, was to have a dedicated opper. And either they have to shift their style or they need to find another really good opper.
I mean, it really shouldn't be this close against a team like SKDC, who's been really down on their luck lately.
Yeah, they're really
against SKDC, many of whose players are playing just amazingly this game. But I mean, you could tell CLG is taking its toll. These this one roster change they've had. But
but they're getting up A quite well. That was a nice shot from Hayes on the L. But Slimmy is still anchoring at the long. He will catch Lucky trying to be that flanker. But Tarek is also cutting off things really well at mid. And what I was going to say is that CLG, like you were saying earlier, how like SKDC shouldn't even be this close to CLG or whatever. CLG has suffered from their own bouts of inconsistency. I mean, look at Aspen, right? Leading up to that event, they did so well against all the NA teams like iBuyPower, like Torque to qualify, upsetting all these teams. And they get to the event, they continue the hype with the big win against LDLC. But then they get absolutely crushed by Liquid on Cash, one of their best maps, 16-3, to get eliminated in group play. And you could say the same thing at the Katowice main event. They get the big win against Hellraisers, and they get smashed by Keed on Dust 2. Once again, historically a very strong map for them. So they've had their bouts of inconsistency themselves, and it happens online too, like games like this. So that's something they also have to kind of think about. But man, Finesse isn't thinking about it. He's just thinking about destroying SKDC right now, as he's kind of just mopping up an eco round from SKDC, to be honest. And it should be 14-11 here in just a second.
Yeah, you can tell CLG really turned things up, knowing that they needed to close out this game in a very good way, especially going into the second game. They want to make sure not only did they win this one, but they have some momentum going in the second one too. You want to break their spirit as much as possible. I can't stress enough. A lot of people you can talk about how great these teams work together, how strong they are individually skill-wise, but you just can't stress enough the psychological component that goes into this game. I mean, once you, it's getting pretty late at night. Some of these guys got to be feeling kind of tired maybe. And if you start losing, then it's like, man, I just want to get this night over with. Let's just play the rest of it and let that be the end of it. I don't know for a fact that that's what's going on, but it's a distinct possibility. Even a little bit of that is happening once you let that take hold.
You honestly can't think that way in this best of 2 system, though, because even if you can just win,
you know you're playing 2 anyway. That's a good point.
And even if you can just get one of the maps, that's still a point rather than 0 points on like the whole point system for ranking. So it's worth it. Even if you get absolutely destroyed first map, try to win the second map and see if you can get the point. But anyway, CLG isn't quite the game point yet. I mean, it's only 14-11. SKDC aren't that far off, and they get the opening pick. This is big. They're playing 2 inside B. Once again, a pretty decent option to counter this type of mid to B presence that CLG's trying.
And that's been called out by Ocean now as the site take comes in, but they're going to have to rush through a smoke if they decide to do it. Now they're stuck at mid.
Yeah, they're just getting stuck at mid, like you said. Good countering here from SKDC through CT spawn with some nice counter nades, and just how well they've been able to play inside the site with their other 2 players, just completely cutting this off. It forces Hazen to a 1v5. They get a 1v3 now after a couple of kills, but only 18 HP. And see, here's the thing. If you're going to do what CLG did, you're going to commit a lot of numbers to mid to B. You have to have some pressure at tunnels. You can't let those 2 players in B only have to worry about the mid portion of the attack. You have to have some presence at tunnels to make one of those players, you know, responsible for keeping an eye on it. That way you can maybe isolate one of those players, or at least have an opportunity. If those 2 players only have to worry about double doors and window, that's 2 really small choke points to worry about, and not have to worry about your tons at the same time. So I think if you're going to run that play, you got to implement some pressure on B.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. SKDC, though, getting another round. Could this be the first of 3 to tie it back up? We'll have to see. I mean, Slemmy is doing amazing work with that op. I would call him the best opper in this game so far, at least on this map. So as long as he can keep that in his hand, and whoa, L's pushing aggressively through the flashbang.
Opportunity here. They don't know that he's right where he is. They think they got the kill.
Yeah, what a pop flash too. He's got them at his mercy. He just can't see anything, but he didn't land a shot.
Yeah, he's blinder than Ray Charles with sunglasses on right there. There's nothing. Nothing he can done there.
Oh, 2-on-2 though now as Tarek picks up 1 on Stewie. No, but Tarek falls to Slemmy with that off. Slemmy, his second kill of the round, misses 1, but Ocean taking the opportunity to pick up the kill for himself. And wow, I mean, 14-13, SKDC is right back up there. But you have that bank that Hayes built up over those rounds and rounds where he died. He's going to be able to buy for his team, and that is a huge, huge boon to them, because otherwise they would have been on an eco round here.
Yeah, it's big, and now Tarek's going to have the op. He's going to see if he can't catch the cross here. Not going to find the shot, but no big deal. No harm, no foul. As we are seeing 1 cat. It's kind of a 2-on-2 setup, but 1 mid, 1 cat, 1 B, 2 A. So really spread out defense here from SKDC, just trying to cover all angles at this point. And CLG have generally played these rounds pretty slow and methodical. Haven't really done any crazy rushes or anything like that, other than maybe some attacks at mid to B.
Well, I mean, they know that they're the superior aimers. They should be able to get the entry frags they need to work off of. You don't need to, you know, do some crazy rush together or some coordinated thing. Generally, they should be getting the aim battles down. But SKDC, for their part, has been doing a really good job of shutting them down.
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, like I said, CLG hasn't quite closed this game out yet, and SKDC's knocking on the door of a comeback yet again. This game's been pretty close all the way through ever since SKDC was able to mount the comeback there in the latter part of the first half. It's been kind of back and forth. As we are seeing CLG executing a few players out long. They have L's in the pit, and they have them down to pretty low HP. They already do have that kill on the Char as well from earlier in the round, so they're working on a pretty decent advantage here to try to get to match point. As there comes the pick, here comes the pinch A, and they have the site, they have the bomb down. It's just going to be up to Ocean. Oh, those are some
low
really
HP
fires, though. Those are really good. But they don't get anything out of it except for 1 kill from Ocean, so still a 2 versus 4 retake. Going to be real tough.
Yeah, Cutler managed to get out of that fire. That was good positional awareness for him, and now there's not going to be enough CTs left to retake. They're going to try to go for the 15-15, and we have overtime still in these best of 2s, right?
Yeah, it's MR3 still, 10K.
All right, so, I mean, that's the best SKDC is going to be hoping for. And frankly, I give them an okay shot. They can definitely, they've shown us that they can win 2 rounds in a row. They've done it many times so far this game. And they have they saved the op in the M4. That is key. Oh, unless Ocean falls here. Okay, thank goodness for him. So they have actually enough to put together a half decent buy. Ocean can buy something, but it's going to be a forced buy. It's not going to be pretty.
No, it's not going to be pretty at all, but it's going to be something. And in fact, Char kind of sacrifices having anything to make sure he can get full nades and head armor. So he's just going to have the 5-7 and only a FAMAS on L's.
I'm surprised you don't put... Whoa, Stewie taking a shot to the leg as he crosses mid. That has to hurt. He's down to 19 health already.
Yeah, it is. And they're playing really strong long presence. All three players today are playing towards long. So CLG will just walk up at free. But there is that op on Slimmy. So maybe from long with that op, you can still kind of defend against this, but not initially. It's going to come in here. The bomb is going to get planted for sure. Slimmy is just going to be resorted to trying to see if he can't make a play from pit with the op at some point. But I mean, Color's just cutting off all these rotates and doing a lot of damage to Stewie in the process as well. So L's trying to see if he can make it happen. There are a lot of kills are happening, forcing this Lucky and Finesse in a 2 versus 3 here. Finesse will be playing this quad corner. Lucky will catch the cat player with his back turn, trying to chase a pop flash. And so now it's a 2 versus 2. Lucky continue to get kills here from the cat. Slimmy now all alone. And this has been really tough. He's going to get kills from quad and cat. He didn't even know Finesse was quad.
No, he didn't.
Because Finesse has been so sneaky the whole time. And there you have it. CLG takes the first match, 16-13. Close game, but they get it.
Wow. I mean, great contribution all around from CLG. Like you mentioned, we were a little disappointed with the way Tarek was playing, but the rest of the team definitely made up for it, especially Finesse. He had just a lights-out game, so good on him, definitely. But CLG made it a lot closer than the odds would suggest, and then maybe we gave them credit for it to go in. You know, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I was definitely wrong about that one because at least in my mind, I was thinking that was going to be a very quick game, and CLG would be able to pick that up easily. But going into this one, I mean, I give it a very real possibility that SKDC pulls out a tie game.
It could be. Like I said, this is one of the maps that CLG is weaker on in comparison to the pool, the rest of the maps in the pool, like D2 or Cash or something like that. So this is, a chance for SKDC. But we are just going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll give you our final map of the night, actually, here in the second best of 2. So just stay tuned, and we'll be back with you soon.